Greetings, fellow gorehounds, and welcome back to a Blood Splattered vlog. I'm the Horror Guru.
And I'm Count Jackula, coming at you in 3D.
3D! Yeah, we've been experimenting with the lighting on these vlogs to make them a little bit more interesting. Some of the experiments are going to be more successful than others. Let us know in the comments below which ones you prefer. Anyway, today we are going to talk about the latest Halloween film, Halloween Ends. Yes, that's right. David Gordon Green's Halloween trilogy is coming to an end, and we watched it on Peacock, and we're here to give you our thoughts. Not us our thoughts. You our thoughts.
Dude, sometimes I feel like I'm giving us our thoughts.
Sorry, we've been up really late tonight, so we're a little out of it.
Yeah.
So if our thoughts aren't as coherent as they could be, that's why. But anyway, some things I want to say about this movie right off the bat. This movie was not the movie I was expecting.
No.
Like, I was expecting some big, bombastic follow-up to Halloween Kills that was going to be kind of like Halloween Kills, but with Laurie Strode fighting Michael Myers in the end.
Yeah, like maybe she was gonna like fucking hit him with the fire truck that was on fire or something.
Exactly. It was just going to be like a more bombastic version of a mixture of the first two movies.
Yeah.
This movie is nothing like the first two movies.
This movie makes a complete fucking left turn.
Yeah, it's a completely different type of movie than the first two movies. And even though it's still somewhat of a slasher, it's a different type of slasher, and it's also more of a slow burn than either of the first two movies.
Yeah, this one, excuse me. Yeah. This one is way more contained. It is a way smaller cast.
It's way more character driven, and it's not until you get to the last half that slashing starts to actually happen for the most part.
Yeah.
Now, all that being said, I loved this movie.
It was really good.
Yeah, it was
really
not what I was expecting. It was not what I asked for. Actually, it kind of was what I asked for, but I can't go more into that without really spoiling what this movie's about, because
it's the kind of movie you didn't know you wanted until you saw it.
Yeah. Well, there's also like something specific with the Halloween franchise that I always wanted that this movie delivers on.
Yes.
But I can't explain that, because if I do, it will spoil the movie. And what I kind of loved about watching this movie was that the trailer told me nothing about what the movie's actually about.
You have no idea what this movie is.
Exactly. The scene in the trailer, that scene with Laurie Strode fighting Michael Myers, that's in this movie, for the record. Yeah. But that's like the last 20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah. A good way of putting this is, even though Michael Myers is in the movie, and he is a major character, this is definitely the season of the witch of the new trilogy.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Like, 100%. It goes in a completely different direction.
Yet still being a very important thematic follow-up to the last two movies.
Yeah.
And also wrapping up the last two movies in a very effective way.
Yeah.
They managed to thread that needle. Even though it's a little clunky at times with the way it threads that needle, it still threaded it.
Yeah. This is either going to be the movie in the new trilogy that is your favorite, or you're gonna hate.
Exactly. This is going to be a love it or hate it. It's most likely going to divide fans more so than Halloween Kills did, if you could believe that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And here's the thing. Halloween 3 did too.
Oh yes.
And so did a couple other entries in the Halloween franchise that now have like really strong cult followings. So I guarantee 10 years from now, maybe even sooner, this movie's going to have a really strong cult following the same way that something like Nightmare on Elm Street 2 does now.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
People that hate the movie are going to insist, no, that's not true, but they insisted that about Rob Zombie's Halloween, and now I go onto Twitter, and it seems like everybody loves the movie all of a sudden.
Yeah, exactly.
I was a lone defender of that movie back when it came out, so it's very surreal to me to all of a sudden be surrounded by people that actually appreciate it.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's Rob Zombie's Halloween. My point is, this movie, if it's hated right now, which it most likely will be given how shocking and surprising the movie was given what it was marketed as.
Oh, yeah.
In the years to come, it will be beloved, mark my words.
Oh, man. Misogynist, incel, fucking shit boys on the internet, their heads are gonna fucking explode.
But what's really funny is that I think in a different universe, those people would have liked this movie.
Oh, absolutely.
In a different movie, because this movie is a lot more empathetic to those kinds of people than Halloween 2018 was.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hollywood 2018 was just sort of like, nah, fuck you, fanboys.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I actually love Halloween 2018.
I love this entire trilogy so far. I think Halloween Kills is the clunkiest of the three.
Ends or kills?
Kills.
Okay.
Kills kind of requires the other two movies to really work.
The main problem I had with Kills is I really liked it. I appreciated where they ended it, but we did kind of leave it in like the middle of the story.
It needs the other two movies where both of the other two movies can sit just fine with just the original movie existing.
Yes.
You know, to a certain extent. And the thing I also like about this movie is that they took a huge risk with this movie. And that is by making this movie a far more character-driven piece.
Yeah. They did what the Rob Zombie movies did, but actually were way more effective.
Yeah, I would agree with that. If you were going to complain about this movie, your complaints would be kind of the opposite of the complaints of Halloween Kills.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, Halloween Kills had a huge cast, but none of the cast is really given, like, a lot of development, right?
Right. Yeah, it's largely a body count. You know?
Exactly. And that movie has a huge Michael Myers body count right from the get-go. He's slaughtering people left and right. And to the point where people thought it was a little much, right? That he was killing as much as he was in that movie.
I was like,
I didn't.
This is great.
But I saw comments to that degree. Whereas I guarantee the first words out of a lot of fanboys' mouth when coming out of this movie is Myers didn't kill enough people.
Yeah.
And he didn't kill enough people early on.
It takes a while to get to actual Halloween in this one.
This movie also kind of just brings together the overall themes of the entire trilogy, and just makes them very clear. You know, these three movies are about the cycle of violence in a small town, the way one event can like scar a town for decades and affect further events going down the line.
Yep.
It's also about the way, I guess what you would call evil acts, the way they influence further acts of evil. Sometimes even in retaliation of the initial evil act.
Yes.
Hence this cycle of violence. And these movies are also about much like, okay, there's like this discussion online about trauma and horror movies. Now, I would argue most horror movies at bottom have trauma as a theme in them.
Oh!
Yeah.
You don't say! And this is news to me!
I would also argue that any sequel to a horror movie that's following a survivor of the previous horror movie automatically is about trauma.
Oh, fuck yeah.
And that includes this trilogy because it follows Laurie Strode after the events of the first movie. So there's all this trauma and stuff. But what I like about this movie is that this movie isn't just about watching Laurie Strode go through that trauma again for the third time.
No, it's not.
This movie is all about the way people treat victims of trauma.
Yeah.
And how that begets more trauma.
Yep.
And creates more victims.
Yep.
It's not subtle with any of these themes.
Oh, no.
It's very in your face and it's very on the nose with all of them, but it does explore these concepts.
Yeah, probably my favorite part of this movie is the fact that once you're 20 minutes in, you're like, I have no idea what's going to happen. I have no idea where we're going to go because we've never done this with a Halloween movie before.
Without spoiling anything, I can say that like one of the reoccurring things in this movie is Laurie Strode and her daughter being blamed for the events of the first two movies.
Yeah.
Not the original Halloween, but the
Halloween
first
and
two.
Halloween 2018 Halloween.
Yeah.
Kills.
The first two of this trilogy. And being blamed because they see Laurie as having antagonized the whole incident, which at the end of the day is basically victim blaming.
Yeah.
So this movie explores a lot of victim blaming that happens here. There's also a plot with a separate character and the way that character has been affected by these events because people react to something this character went through, and the way they react to it is painted by the events of Michael Myers. So had the events of Michael Myers not happened, he probably wouldn't have had
this. This wouldn't have been as bad.
Yeah, this wouldn't have been as bad. But because it did happen, people reacted more harshly, and it basically ruined this character's life.
Yeah,
essentially. And I really liked that this movie like explored all those themes and how it kind of, even though it is a complete left turn tonally and structurally, thematically, it's picking up right where the last movie left off.
Yeah, thematically it is. And what the thematic through line of the entire trilogy has been fear.
Fear of evil can beget more evil.
It begets more evil, because you're afraid.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
The movie even has like a little discussion about the two types of fear.
Yeah, it does.
There's fear for your physical safety, and then there is fear of what's inside of you.
Yeah, exactly. You know? And that's the other thing. This movie's a lot more about characters internally exploring themselves. Like, Halloween Kills was very surface level. With a lot of the stuff it was doing. To the point where it was almost a little jarring, given how much more introspective Halloween 2018 was. This movie is more introspective than Halloween 2018 was. You know?
Yep.
Almost a little navel-gazy with how introspective it gets in this one. It makes this movie feel almost more like the art film of the three.
I would definitely say that this is as close to the art house. Well, actually, no. Rob Zombie Halloween 2 is close to the
There's a couple art house horror films I could name drop here that it reminded me of, but they would be major spoilers.
Yeah, that'd be a giveaway.
Yeah, major spoilers. Hopefully, if you watch this vlog, you will be more prepared going into the movie for how different it is from most likely what your expectations are. Because if it was anything like ours, where you're expecting like a whole lot of slashing, you're expecting Michael Myers to come out the way he did in the last movie, killing a whole bunch of people.
That's not going to happen.
Leading into a fucking huge climactic fight, which does happen in this movie. The rest of the movie isn't that.
It's not as bombastic.
Yeah.
It's very, very...
It's way more personal.
Oh, very.
Like the confrontation between Laurie and Michael in the Halloween 2018 was really bombastic. It was really theatrical.
Yeah, he has a house on fire.
Yeah,
there's explosions,
house on fire.
shotguns going off.
And they're reprising things from the original movie, but Laurie's turning it on its head and all that stuff. It was very fan servicey, for lack of a better way of putting it.
Yeah. In a good way.
Yeah, exactly. I love that movie. It was very fan servicey in that way. This movie is not as fan servicey with its final climax. It's purely a personal fucking hands-on brawl between her and Michael. And it's one where you kind of feel every impact more so because of that. Even though, like, she's not dropping a house on him as much.
Oh, no. Yeah, exactly. Like, a lot of people won't understand why. But this is why the people are going to love it or they're going to hate it.
Yeah.
Which is that it strips Michael Myers down to his bare essential and basically then goes, it's just a man.
Yeah. It does. Everyone always made those jokes about Halloween 2018 of like, how is this geriatric Michael Myers doing all this shit? This is the one movie of the trilogy that actually acknowledges that he's geriatric.
Old as shit. Yeah.
That he's old. He's suffered all the injuries from the last 3 movies.
Yeah, he's slowing down a little bit.
He's slowing down a little bit as a result of it. So
until
he reminds everyone that he's still Michael fucking Myers. So
I like the fact that the credits specifically once again referred to him as the Shape.
Yeah.
Because that I'm like, no, that's thematically incredibly important.
Oh yeah, the final line about like the about evil takes a different shape and all that stuff.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Very important. So yeah, I love this movie. I think it's a little clunky in some parts. Like there's a couple scenes that just come out of nowhere, and when they end, you're just like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah. Shout out to Darcy the Mail Girl.
Yeah, she has a great cameo.
She has a cameo in this, which starts as it should. They focus on her. I was like, oh, there's boobs in the movie. Wait, I know those boobs. Oh, hey.
Yeah. One of the things I actually find very interesting about this movie is that there's like a little bit of a rivalry between fans of the Rob Zombie Halloween movies and fans of this movie. What I find really interesting about this third movie is this third movie feels like a Rob Zombie movie, kind of.
Yes, it does, actually.
Like, it doesn't have his dialogue. Like,
well, no, but it feels like some of the shit that he was doing, like Devil's Rejects.
Yeah.
You know,
it's got a lot of concepts that Rob Zombie often explores, but done in the David Gordon Green way.
Yeah, done by a different director.
You know, right down to the humanizing of the serial killer.
Yes,
that he often does. This movie kind of commits a little bit more to some of that weird pseudo supernatural magical realism that some of the other Halloween movies explore.
Yeah. Like even though dude is like old and he's fucked up, he still has like serial killer power.
Yeah. He still seems like absurdly superhuman.
Yeah.
In his ability to withstand damage and shit like that.
Yeah.
But it also explores it in other ways, in ways that like some of the other Halloween sequels in the other timelines also kind of explored, but this one goes all the way with it.
Yeah, like he's mortal, but like you get the feeling that at bare minimum he's got like some sort of really low level mutation.
Yeah.
That allows him to take blows to the head like a champ.
Yeah.
You know.
I do want to say one thing before we move on to the spoiler section. It was something I was joking about on Twitter, and I would like to bring it up here. I think it's kind of funny how, regardless of which of the Halloween timelines you prefer, you do kind of sound like a crazy person when you explain why you prefer one over the other.
Okay, so you see in this one, there's a guy with boots who's part of a cult that's going to clone Michael Myers in order that there would always be evil.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Man, what the fuck are you talking about?
Michael Myers and this evil cult that's trying to clone Michael Myers as evil. That's totally okay and completely reasonable. Michael Myers being from a broken home and just a normal-ass serial killer, that's too weird.
Yeah, that's too odd.
Anyway, that's besides the point. So this movie is currently available on Peacock. It's also available in theaters. So I would recommend going to check it out in theaters. I think it would totally be worth it. But if you don't want to take the risk, given everything we've said about how divisive this movie will be, Peacock is a perfectly reasonable option.
Yeah. It's a good small screen movie.
Exactly. And with that said, my fellow Gorehounds, let us move on to the spoilers so we can finally talk about what makes this movie so divisive.
All right, so
first off, Laurie Strode isn't actually really the main character of this movie, even though she kind of still is.
Yeah.
The movie, for the most part, follows this character, Corey, who at the beginning of the movie ends up in a situation where a child is killed while he's babysitting them, but it's not his fault. It's a complete accident.
Yeah.
The town had just gone through the Michael Myers shit.
So everyone's expecting him to just turn into a psycho killer, which he
does. This movie is, I bring up these movies a lot. This movie is kind of low-key like movies like Maniac or May, where you're following the serial killer and you're kind of empathizing with the serial killer and their plight. In this instance, we're watching him go from being the normal kid all the way to the point where he's literally putting on Michael Myers' mask and stabbing people. And the thing is, for me, by the time he starts doing it, you're almost on his side.
Yeah, like you get it.
Because Haddonfield's awful, man. Like, the way people treat him are awful. And plus, you're watching the way people aren't just treating him, the way they're also treating Laurie and her daughter.
Yeah, her granddaughter. Yeah.
Or her granddaughter. You're right. Yeah, her granddaughter. They're victims of this whole thing, but people are treating them like the cause of it. Like, just their presence is going to bring Michael Myers back. Right?
Yeah, like, basically, they have a hard time, like, just going to the grocery store because someone there is going to start shit.
So the thing that makes this movie really weird is, I don't know if you've seen the John Carpenter movie Christine, which is an adaptation of the Stephen King book of the same thing, about this kid in high school who acquires his first car.
Yeah,
but here's
like this classic 50s.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's an evil fucking car. And he develops like a symbiotic relationship to that car that is kind of like his first girlfriend. At least that's the metaphor in the movie. Yeah. The whole movie is about him having his first relationship with this car and then having a terrible breakup, but the car's psychotic.
Yeah.
So it kills everyone out of revenge.
Car's jealous girlfriend.
This movie has a very similar structure to that, except replace the car with Michael Myers and make it more like Michael Myers kind of becomes his dad in a weird way.
Yeah.
Or mentor at the very least.
Like, he has a complete psychotic break, and this is what causes him to, like, just fuck it. If I'm going to be the next Michael Myers, I might as well just be that.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. There's like 50% I'm being treated like the devil. I might as well be the devil.
Be the devil, yeah.
And the other 50% is Michael Myers' presence and his influence itself.
Yeah.
Because in this movie, carrying on from the themes of the last movie, just Michael Myers' presence makes people act a certain way.
Yeah.
Now, in these movies, it's kind of flirted with somewhat being metaphorical and somewhat being literal. That he does this.
Yeah. There's definitely some like magical realism.
Exactly. And in this movie, they kind of go almost all in on that by having a scene where like he's strangling the kid and then like they both flash each other's memories.
Yeah.
And then he like lets the kid go. And from that point on, the kid starts slowly turning more into like a Michael Myers light.
Yeah.
It just in the way he behaves and the way he walks and the way he talks. It starts affecting his behavior, which this is why I bring up the movie Christine, because once the kid in the movie Christine gets the car Christine, he starts slowly taking on the characteristics of like a 50s greaser.
Yeah.
His behavior completely changes over the course. It's really ridiculous.
Yeah.
And this movie's...
Dude, that movie opens up with a car eating a dude's arm.
Yeah.
You know?
And this movie is equally ridiculous, but here's the thing. I loved Christine. I love this.
Yeah.
This movie is very ridiculous. The other thing about this movie is that he's also developing a relationship with Laurie Strode's granddaughter. She sees the way he's treated in town, and it kind of reflects the way she's treated.
Yeah, because it's very similar.
So they're able to connect in that way. And then in this weird way, the movie's also commenting on the relationship between the final girls and the slasher killers.
Yeah.
And the way they go. And I kind of like that. There's a lot of meta commentary about slasher movies in general in this movie.
Yeah, but it's not as, that's the subtle part.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like in Scream where like, that's the out loud part.
Yeah,
you know? Like
that's the part that's really subtle
Yeah.
is that commentary.
Look, by the end of this movie, if they want to bring Michael Myers back, they got to reset the timeline.
Oh yeah. Well, I guarantee
or just introduce straight up magic.
Well, here's the thing. I think if they make more Halloween movies, they're going to just do a new timeline.
Yeah.
At this point, it's just become tradition. There's going to be...
Yeah. At this point, it's just going to be like, no, this one.
Someone else is going to come in, and this is going to be their take on Halloween. And by that point, if people just aren't just accepting that these timelines are all different, then...
Yeah, forget it's going to be like Godzilla movies.
Yeah, exactly. Michael Myers is Godzilla. You have the Heisei timeline and the Showa timeline. This trilogy, for me, answered a lot of my problems with some of the old series. One thing I really hated about Halloween 5 is the way it abandoned the end of Halloween 4.
Yeah.
Now, if you remember, at the end of Halloween 4, Jamie has put on the outfit that Michael had in the first movie and is carrying the knife. And the implication is that she's been like either infected by Myers' evil or possessed, or it's just that evil is hereditary.
Yeah, she just got the serial killer gene or whatever.
And so I thought, when I was a little kid and I was watching that movie, that the next movie was going to be about Jamie becoming a serial killer or being a serial killer.
Yeah.
It completely abandoned that plot line and just went with, she just has nightmares of him now.
She has a psychic connection to him.
She has a psychic connection to him, which, by the way, if the psychic connection to him was okay to you, but this weird connection that this kid has with Michael was too far, I don't know what to tell you. Again, this is what I mean when I say when you defend your timeline versus the other timeline, you just sound like a crazy person.
Yeah.
But I always was disappointed that they abandoned that plot line.
Yeah,
this movie is basically the movie I wanted out of that. But instead of Jamie, it's this character, Corey.
I didn't know what they were going to do with Vi, because I knew they weren't going to make a little kid the killer. But I was like, okay, well, they'll probably get like a teenage actress, and she'll be in a psychiatric home, and she'll escape.
I always imagined that she would be like a teenager, and if she hadn't gone and become a full-on killer yet, she would become one by the end of the movie. She starts off trying to fight those urges, and then over the course of the movie, she becomes more and more of a killer. You know?
Yeah. And you put some twist on it.
And I just thought it would be a more interesting movie than your standard slasher.
Yeah, which is unfortunately is what the Halloween 5 is.
But here's the thing. I think this movie is why they didn't do it, because I think this movie's going to be divisive.
Yes.
And that's why they went with the more standard slasher with the other one. But I contend this is a more interesting movie than Halloween 5.
Yeah.
I liked H2O. I liked watching Laurie Strode get hers against Michael. And then watching the next movie immediately take that away always pissed me off.
Oh, Resurrection? Yeah, well, that was the insult. The reason I hated that movie is because Laurie Strode died in the first 5 minutes. Yeah. Not because Busta Rhymes fucking karate chops.
No. Busta Rhymes saves that movie.
Yeah.
It's the worst Halloween movie, bar none. But Busta Rhymes is the shining light.
Yeah. You'd be like, well, at least that's entertaining.
Exactly. He makes the movie go from bad to so bad it's good.
It's good, yeah.
Because he's legitimately fun and charismatic.
Yeah, he's just like, I gotta save this turkey. Yeah.
Exactly. But this movie, this trilogy, got me Laurie Strode getting back at Michael Myers. And then managed to reflect on that, come back around, and give it to me again.
Yes.
Even more definitively.
Yes. By the way, when we say that Michael Myers dies at the end of this, They throw his ass in a junkyard grinder.
Yeah, straight up.
And you watch it fucking tear his body apart.
Yeah, he is disintegrated unless they're gonna do straight up magic.
Yeah. You're like, it's
back.
Gotta be magic if you're gonna fucking do something.
Yeah, if you're gonna,
or if I don't know, Halloween 3000, they've cloned Michael Myers.
At this point, I'd watch it.
Yeah, I don't know.
It'd be terrible, but I'd watch it.
Yeah. No, it'd be bad. It'd be awful. Like, I mean, hey, look. I don't like Jason X because it makes sense.
Yeah. You know? Yeah, absolutely. The other thing I did like about this movie is that even though it's a slow burn getting up to the actual point where someone's actually killing people, and even though most of the kills in this movie are not Michael Myers, it's this other character.
It's the other guy, yeah.
The kills are fucking great.
Oh, yeah.
Like that one kill with the fucking radio DJ.
Oh, man.
Where that awesome effect where he gets his tongue cut out and it ends up on the fucking, like the record.
Oh, man.
And the way his face looked like it was something out of like a fucking, it was like from The Stuff. Like his face is all messed up.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the part that to me felt most like a Rob Zombie flick.
Yeah. That's the scene that felt Rob Zombie. 100%. That character and his illusion felt Rob Zombie.
Yeah. That was right up there with like, I'm Big Joe Grizzly.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I also thought the opening of this movie was really well done.
Yeah, super good.
The entire scene with that little kid, and you're not sure what the hell's going to happen the entire time.
Yeah, it's the most shocking death in the movie.
Low key, on a weird level, related to Corey. So, I kind of liked watching him go through his little journey, even though, he's got to be defeated by the end, right?
Well, yeah, he starts killing people.
Yeah.
You know, he starts killing people on purpose.
He's the protagonist that turns into the antagonist, basically.
The anti-hero.
But I also liked that the movie subverted my own expectations because, I had my own expectations by the time we got to the climax of where that was going to go. And then it
went in another direction. Yeah.
It completely surprised me.
Yeah. I love that they kept going back and forth on how frail is Michael Myers.
Yeah. It was like, okay, he's old, so sometimes he's a little bit more affected, but then he remembers he's Michael Myers.
But then all of a sudden he's able to summon the powers of evil, bolt up, and just be like, fuck this.
It reminds me of professional wrestling.
Yes.
A wrestler will pretend like they're a little bit more injured or a little bit whatever, but then they have that moment where they hype up and they get back up.
Yeah.
And then they fucking win the match.
Well, I'd have to say here, Michael Myers is very much modeled after The Undertaker.
Oh yeah. So that moment in any wrestling match with The Undertaker, where The Undertaker looks like he's tired, he's exhausted, he's beaten. The crowd starts chanting, and then he just sits back up.
Yeah. Undertaker,
and you know shit's about to go down.
Yeah.
That's 100% the way Michael Myers is in this movie, especially.
Yes.
I do think there's some things that are a little clunky about this movie, as much as I love it. I feel like there's a lot of Laurie Strode's dialogue in particular that feels like a little too on the nose at times.
Oh yeah, like there's definitely I'm gonna say this is the point of the movie where we make absolutely fucking clear of what's going on. You get it? Okay, good, we're moving on.
There's these scenes that are actually, they are important to the plot, but when they happen, they feel like they just happen, and you're just sitting there going whoa, that just happened.
You're talking when Laurie Strode shows up at the house.
Yeah.
I was just like, the fuck? What is she doing?
I understand everything that happened in the scene, but it still felt weird, right?
Yeah, because she does.
She's like Batman.
Yeah. She comes out of nowhere and then she leaves without a trace. And I was like, did he hallucinate that?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to be wondering if he's crazy? Because we're well past that at this point.
Also, that one scene where she has an argument with his mom. Or grandma or whatever.
His mom, yeah.
That scene just felt awkward as shit.
It's important to the plot. It informs the character. It tells you how Laurie Strode knows certain things.
Yeah.
But it's really fucking awkward.
It feels really like forced into the movie where it sits, editing-wise. It's weird.
On top of the fact that the scene itself is about a really awkward situation.
Yeah.
Where you got one person going oh, hey, I just want to come in and talk about your... okay. All right.
Yeah.
Right. Grandma of a person I thought might be a little on edge. Thank you for confirming this. you're I'm gonna go now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna leave.
There's something about that character's mom that just felt like such a weird cartoon character, like the way the actress was playing her.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah, a little bit jarring in contrast, and considering how like grounded and normal the performance of the dad was. That's one of the things about this movie. It seems like it's going really normal, and then something crazy happens.
Well, what I find fascinating about this movie is that this movie has some of the most like David Gordon Green indie art house sensibilities in it.
Yeah.
Mixed in with all of this grindhouse trash.
Well, yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
But sometimes it does feel like Herschel Gordon Lewis returned from the grave to do some shit, you know? Like,
whereas like first movie, Halloween 2018, just felt like a good crowd pleaser, right?
Yeah, that's good.
He was making like a good mainstream
flick.
movie. The second movie felt a little bit more grindhouse. This felt like he added a little bit more of his art house into the grindhouse, but the grindhouse is still there churning.
Yeah. It's still there, and occasionally it pops up. It's like, hey, how you doing?
Remember me?
Remember me? We're just gonna cut this guy's tongue off so we can do a bit. Wait. You mean in this very? You know what? I'm not even complaining.
The other thing I really like about this movie is that this movie has a lot of David Gordon Green's sense of humor throughout, and it's a really dark sense of humor.
Yeah,
but it's not like people are telling jokes, right?
No,
it's just the way he films it is like a joke.
Yeah.
You know, and that death is a good example of one. With the punchline being the tongue
spinning around on the fucking turntable.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Here's an interesting like distinction I want to make here. Of these three movies, I think objectively, putting my own emotions aside, Halloween 2018 is the most complete. It is the most well constructed. And it is overall probably the best movie of the bunch.
Yeah.
This one's probably my personal favorite, though.
Yeah.
For all its clunkiness.
Yeah. Man, I loved Kills, actually. Yeah. I thought it was great.
Oh, yeah, I love Kills, too.
Yeah, but, like, no.
It's the most clunky of them, though.
Yeah, but it's the one that's the most Halloween.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, no, it's gonna be Michael Myers killing people left and fucking right. Are we gonna do something else on top of it? Yeah, sure. But we got a body count of 100 to get to.
Yeah.
You know, and the fact that, like I fucking said in that Rob Zombie review, gotta remember, Mike Myers always makes little haunted house scenes, which he didn't do in this one. But that's okay, because it wasn't about that.
Well, yeah, because he wasn't doing most of the killing throughout. Like we were
following the other guy.
Yeah, he kicks in at the end after the other guy kills himself.
Yeah.
Kills himself and then Myers re-kills him because he has his moment of resurrection.
Yeah.
I like that moment too because I was not expecting it, where it's just like, I'm going to make her think that you killed me and that you're the crazy person.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh shit, now he's inflicting his trauma upon someone else.
Yeah.
Which is something that happens to people that are traumatized sometimes.
It is.
Sometimes people that are traumatized will end up reacting and affecting the people around them in ways that end up inflicting their trauma on the other person.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not a pretty thing, but it happens.
Yeah, you're running a bad program, and depending on how far the person takes it is pretty much the determiner of how bad it is for everybody else.
And now, granted, I am fully admitting that I am reading into the deeper themes of this truly ridiculous movie.
If you don't commit to that arty bullshit idea, don't even bother.
Yeah.
This movie commits. This movie commits to its premise.
100%.
Anyway, point is, you can find me on Twitter at Counting Jack, and you can find me on Twitch at Count_Jackula, where I stream a lot of games. Right now, I'm streaming a lot of Cyberpunk because that game is now functioning. Sometimes it's
still janky.
It's still janky. Oh yeah, no. It's still a fucking busted ass Trans Am of a fucking game, but like, as far as a narrative experience is like fucking
agreed.
A+.
Even when it was broken, the narrative experience was still good.
Yeah. It's like, that's a beautiful Ferrari ride.
Agreed.
You know, it's wonderful. And you can also follow me on Swashbabo. Look, man,
it's late.
Yeah,
it's like 4 a.m. right now.
Yeah, little tired, little tired. What's that one? It's Instagram. Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram, Satanic Jackula. Follow me there, whatever. How about you?
Y'all know me. I'm the Horror Guru. You can find me at the Horror Guru on Twitter, on Twitch, on Instagram, and Facebook. Just look up the Horror Guru or Blood Splattered Cinema, and I'll be there. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and don't forget to ring that notification bell so that you're notified of my videos immediately upon their upload. Almost fucked that up. And if you'd like to help out either of us more directly, be sure to check out our Patreon pages. And remember, even $1 a month can go a long way. And with that said, if you made it this far into the vlog, then I want you to comment below, and be sure to comment below with the hashtag evil takes a new shape. Use the hashtag evil takes a new shape. That way I know. That way Jack knows. That way the whole world knows you watched this vlog all the way through. And don't forget to comment below and let us know which of the lightings we've been trying out lately you like and which ones you don't like.
Yeah.
That way we know for future reference how many of you hate certain lightings.
Yeah. So we can ignore you.
Exactly.